Islamic banking is growing at an accelerated rate, which means that the technology, processes, and financial instruments utilized in the marketplace must also increase rapidly. Poor Islamic banking institutions and conventional banks with Islamic windows will face significant hurdles in the future due to this development. Managing a treasury management system might be difficult in the face of all these issues and present constraints in the market. Currently, there are two significant themes in treasury management for Islamic banking, which are first, to ensuring that investment with firms comply with the Halal Index, and second, the necessity to build a secondary market for treasury, as hedging is not acceptable under Sharia law in its pure form. The demand for the Sharia-compliant treasury goods has increased dramatically in Malaysia over the last few years, and there are no signs that this trend will reverse. As treasury products in Islamic banking become more widely used as instruments for investing and hedging, the demand for systems that can automate and support these activities while still adhering to Sharia regulations will increase. It is important to note that any treasury management system or TMS that fulfill the requirement of the Sharia-compliant Islamic banking environment will also be able to accommodate banks where Sharia compliance is not needed. Cash management, debt management, investment management, and currency management are all issues that have a similar trait, as does the necessity for robust audit and control system. Apart from these needs, an Islamic treasury system should assist in the management and control of operational risk within established limitations, straight through processing, maximize efficiency at each stage of the transaction life cycle, resulting in lower costs.
Here I would like to explain about background of Ambank Islamic. First, Ambank Group is a market leader in financial services with over 40 years of experience in existing Malaysia economic development. It offers wholesale banking, business banking, retail banking, and investment banking services as well as Islamic banking. Next, Ambank Islamic Berhad is the Islamic banking subsidiary of the Ambank Group. It provides a full range of Sharia-compliant retail and non-retail banking products and services as well as treasury and trade solutions. Ambank Islamic solutions are available through a comprehensive network of branches, electronic banking center, self-service machine, digital banking channel, and relationship manager, of all which facilitate easy access to financial solutions and services. Lastly, Ambank Islamic has received various honors in recent years, which is Global Banking and Finance Award honor Ambank Islamic as a Malaysia Best Islamic Corporate Bank and Best Islamic SME Bank in 2020 and 2021.
Next is the Islamic treasury operation in Ambank Islamic Berhad. First, Islamic negotiable instrument was introduced as new financial instruments for the Islamic banking industry as new innovative deposit products, which are freely marketable in the Islamic money market (IMM) secondary market. INIs are negotiable and legally transferable by a delivery through depository institution. Customer can sell the INI in the secondary market before maturity at the prevailing market rate. There are two types of INI in Ambank Islamic, which is first, negotiable Islamic debt certificate (NIDC), and two, Islamic negotiable instrument of deposit (INID). First, negotiable Islamic debt certificate or NDIC is a deposit product and negotiable instrument at secondary market with certain maturity from the date of the issuance. It is a certificate of debt issued by the bank and negotiated on issuance. In Ambank Islamic, negotiable Islamic debt certificate (NDIC) use is based on the contract of buy bitamal ajil, deferred payment sale, and the transaction involves the sale of a pro rata share in the bank assets to the customer at an agreed price on a flat basic pro cash share based principal value plus profit and settle at an agreed future date. Buy bitamal ajil refers to the sale of goods based on a deferred payment basis, where the bank buy the assets that are requested by the customer and later sells the goods to the customer at a market price which both parties agree with the stipulated price. Under the negotiable Islamic debt certificate or NIDC, Ambank Islamic first will sell its asset to a customer or investor for cash, and subsequently the customer will sell back the asset to the bank. Then Ambank Islamic later on will issue a certificate of debt, also known as Shahada Al-Dain, as evidence of the bank's debt to the customer. Second is the Islamic Negotiable Instrument of Deposit or INID, represents a sum of money deposited with Ambank Islamic to be repaid to the bearer on a specified future date at the nominal price of INID plus declared dividends or profit. Structured under the concept of mudarabah, under the issuing bank is mudarib, while the investor is the robul mal. Mudarabah refers to an agreement between the bank and the customer when the customer agreed to participate in the financial activities undertaken by the bank. The bank and the customer will share the profit generated from the financing and investment activities based on an agreed profit sharing ratio. Under the Islamic Negotiable Instrument of Deposit (NID), the investor or the customer will deposit some of the money with Ambank Islamic. Then Ambank Islamic will issue the certificate of Islamic Negotiable Instruments of Deposit as the evidence of the deposit acceptance. The maturity of the Islamic Negotiable Instrument of Deposit is not earlier than 30 days and up to 10 years. The nominal value of a minimum is 50,000 and up to 10 million. On the maturity date, the investor will then return the Islamic negotiable instrument of deposit to Ambank Islamic and then will receive the principal value with its declared dividend. The profit rate is then depends on the profit sharing ratio, as it is based on the concept of al-mudarabah.
Next, I will explain about the product Government Investment Issue and Bank Negara Negotiable Notes. Government Investment Issue is interest-free bond issued by Government of Malaysia and governed by the Government Funding Act 1983. It is issued based on the concept of buy al-inah and traded in the secondary market based on the concept of buy ad-dain. Government Investment Issue also issued by on monetary policy instrument. Next, Bank Negara Negotiable Notes. Bank Negara Negotiable Note is a short-term instrument issued by the central bank. It is structured based on the concept of buy al-inah and can be traded in the Islamic money market based on the concept of buy ad-dain. It also issued based on monetary policy instrument. Bank Negara Negotiable Note also traded on a discounted basis and payable at face value of maturity. The tenor is up to 6 months and its high liquidity in secondary market, and there is no credit risk involved in this product.
Today I will explain on the Sukuk. Sukuk are the debt security issued by the government agency, multinational enterprise and the largest corporation to finance their capital need. Sukuk are also granted under the Bank Ajil, Bal al-Inah, Istisna, Ijarah, Mudarabah and the Musyarakah, which is all based on the Syariah principle. The benefit of Sukuk is the capital preservation is important, a reliable source of the revenue and consistent source of the revenue. Next, the sell buyback agreement is Islamic financial transaction that designed to help the Islamic interbank money market have more liquidity. The central bank has numerous monetary policy tools from which to choose. The sell buyback agreement, which is similar to the repo, which is repurchase agreement, but has been amended to meet the Sharia standard, is one of the mechanism. Sell buyback agreement is two party involved in Islamic money market transaction, which is sell buyback seller asset to the sell buyback buyer as at an agreed price, and both parties engaged into a second agreement in which the buyer pledges to sell the asset back to the seller at the agreed price. Next, treasury bill. Treasury bill will issue on behalf of government by Bank Negara Malaysia and trade at a discount. On the maturity date, it will be paid out of face value. Treasury note have a short term of less than a year. In addition, the secondary market have a lot of liquidity. However, as issued by government, there is no credit risk and it was sold in 10,000 increment.
I will continue this presentation with the Islamic commercial papers. Islamic commercial papers is an unsecured short-term instrument with the maturities between 30 days until 1 year. Islamic commercial papers usually being used to fulfill the working capital needs, which is issued by a corporation and at a discount rate. It is commonly being used in issue and exchange in interbank money market. Islamic commercial papers can be sold or purchased at any price between the face value and the maturity date. There are two Islamic contracts that we use in the Islamic commercial papers, which is Mudarabah and also buy ad-dain contract. So we move to the next Islamic product that offered by Ambank Islamic, which is Islamic acceptance bills. Islamic acceptance bills is a request by the customer to the bank to pay a specific amount of cash to the owner of the acceptance bills. The bank will make a lump sum payment on behalf of its customer to purchase the commodities from the investor and sell the commodities to the customer with the deferred payment basis. There are two Islamic contracts, which is Murabahah and also buy ad-dain contract. Islamic acceptance bills is the short-term instrument with the maturities between 21 days until 1 year and broadly being used in import and export financing. There are two types of product in the Islamic acceptance bills, which is import with local purchase and export with local sales. In conclusion, we realized that the treasury operation products that provided by Ambank Islamic is mostly short-term product, which is less than 1 year, and we also realized that buy ad-dain contract is the commonly used in the trading of secondary market.
Moreover, we have learned the importance of the role and the functions of money market instruments used by the Islamic financial institutions, and products and services must based on the Sharia principle. This thus also allows us to prepare the information well by doing much research and reading to make sure that we understand the operation truly.
Next, during doing the assignment, we also discovered that time management and planning and organizing skill play an essential role in the fulfillment of the task.
In addition, we realized that no matter what challenge we face, we must have the solution for it.